All right, welcome everybody to another exciting breaking news. Now, guys, if you did not watch the show last night, I don't know why you want it. You should. We did a show last night. Let me see. Let me pull it up real quick. It was called something about crystals. But we talked fairies, we talked Bigfoot, we talked everything. So if you haven't watched it, I'm gonna put the link in the chat because it was very exciting and it was very awesome. But there's a connection that was kind of neat that I caught when Jim and Jay was talking about our fortunes with the card. And on mine, now you could say whatever you guys want, but she talked about that I'm probably going to be visited in dreams by a relative. And I'll tell you why that's interesting. I didn't catch it right off the bat last night. One time we did a show. Connor was on there. Amber Paraworld was on there. She asked me to stay afterwards. And she actually gave me like a reading because she saw some dead people by me. Amber's Paraworld. And one of them, she said that I see that there's a relative standing next to you, and she's trying to describe the relative. I don't recognize exactly who the relative, but Amber said, the relative wants to tell you something. And then here we are, did a show last night where she said that you're going to have a dream that a relative wants to tell you something. And it's kind of I'm not saying anything to it, but it was kind of a cool little connection that one person said there was a dead relative. She said the person's wearing glasses. I'm trying to remember, well, what relatives do I know that is slim and wears glasses? It's hard to remember, but maybe Amber's right. Maybe they are telling me, and maybe she's telling me the clues to figure this out is try to make your life normal as possible. I know there's a lot of things going on in my life, Connor's life, that sometimes we don't get to have that normalcy, but maybe that's my clue, that try to get some normalcy, do the best you can. Because I told Connor after the show, I went upstairs to work on today's, and sometimes I'll play a movie in the background and I'll do my thing. I put on Raiders of the Lost Ark in the background. Next thing I knew, a dog's face was hitting my face. Like, woke up like, oh shit, it's like the middle of the night. It's like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I just crashed. But I felt great this morning. I mean, I felt refreshed. I mean, it was just, it's awesome. It's just awesome. So guys, we're going to get right into it. We're going to jump right into the Bigfoot community, and there's some good energy today. Connor was just telling me that at his workplace, he had the busiest morning he had in a long time. It's just like, wow, can anything go, whatever you think is not going to go right or wrong, it's happening. It's happening.
Hey, one foot in front of the other, though, and we just got to stay on our mission. I'm staying focused and getting through this shift, and I have awesome shows to look forward to this weekend, and plus Evan D from Occult 45 podcast is coming out here. So we are going to test some crazy waters, and I'm really excited to show him Torreya State Park and the caverns and the Garden of Eden and pretty much everything else that I take all you guys on the adventures for. But in real life, it's going to be so awesome.
Hell yeah. Well, guys, let's get right into this Bigfoot. Where's my intro? Stay here. All right, now, guys, this first video is going to be a little different. This is not Bigfoot footages or anything. It's called I Saw Sasquatch. It's where the New York Daily News interview a few people about their experience about Sasquatch. So it's 3 minutes long. There's like 3-4 different people basically kind of like telling the story of their experience. And what I like about sometimes, I like to watch these because I like to watch their expression. What are they saying? How are they saying it? Are they telling stories that you kind of heard before? Are they being real? Are they being not? So sometimes I just love watching people's expression. So you're not going to see Bigfoot footages at all in this. This is just stories. That's all it is. Well, let's hear some of them.
Stood up above, a good shoulders and head above these 6-foot reeds.
His face was pretty black. but his eyes weren't.
So the thing had to be at least 3 times, weigh 3 times as much as me.
That's where we seen the mass stand up and we were like, whoa.
I thought to myself, is that a Bigfoot?
It was 1973. There was my brother, my father, a friend of mine.
I do metal detecting as a hobby, out in the woods, old home foundations, things of that nature.
It was in October or November of 2012.
I was walking out back of my house to some trees that are out there. I like to just go out there, think, pray, whatever. And out of the corner of my eye, I saw something move.
My friend was to my left of me, but farther down. He actually noticed the Sasquatch first.
My brother was walking in the one soybean field. He kept on saying, I hear something ahead of me in the brushy woods next to the ditch.
We were on a Bigfoot expedition and we had been doing some probes throughout the night, hearing some things and footfalls.
We both kind of looked at the same time and I was kind of in shock. It was the biggest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I turned to look, and right next to a fairly tall stump that I'd been used to seeing, I thought I saw something that wasn't the stump.
I looked up and this thing was coming out of the the south side, stopped in the middle between the 2 railroad tracks and was standing there looking at us.
Standing off to the right-hand side of the road, which is the same side the camp was on, or campsite was on rather, there was a creature standing there.
As I looked a little closer, I realized that there was a hand moving like this, only as down, and I thought, well, bushes don't move.
You could see it was all black, it was huge, it was massive.
The biggest thing that really stood out to me was the eye shine that was coming back to me.
My first impression now years later, he looks like the Jack Link's Bigfoot, except mine was a charcoal gray.
And it saw me walking towards it, and I realized that it had a face.
And it stood there for the longest time because I think what had occurred was it was wondering if I was watching it.
And it took 2 steps off the horse and buggy trail off into the woods.
And it just turned and walked into the woods.
He got off the tracks before my father got up there. He stepped down off the tracks and went down into that river bottom.
That was my first encounter, and I wasn't really sure if it was what it was, but I knew what I saw.
So actually, that scared me. I didn't go back in the woods for a while.
Has it changed me as a person? I would say no. I'm still a skeptic when it comes to a lot of sightings.
The main thing is, everybody says, oh, this could have been somebody in a monkey suit. When you're looking at something and you see muscle definition on it, this is way before Harry and the Hendersons and all that stuff. And when you actually see muscles and body parts and things like that, it's hard to believe that it's a hoax.
I like hearing different stories because you hear one says black, one says charcoal, one says the eyes were kind of bright. So you're hearing all different kinds of different Bigfoots. Now, I can't tell you if every one of their stories is biodated true or not, but if you're going to base it on that, it tells you right there, different areas, they look different. They're not all looking the same. Some are extra tall, and now I don't like that one guy who in Orange Alpha who says, he's seeing it, but he's still a skeptic.
That's his persona. He's the Sasquatch detective. That's Steve Coles. He's definitely a cool guy, but definitely takes a skeptical approach. But some of these skeptics have been caught in neck-deep mud themselves sometimes. So, but man, I appreciate people being upfront with their encounters, even if it's scary or maybe mild. Some people don't feel like their encounters are enough, but they always are. It always adds another piece to the puzzle.
Yeah. I just thought it was kind of neat how they put it together because you're hearing different people talk on different sections, and you kind of go, wow. If they're all telling the truth, they all look different. So, guys, this next one, this next one is kind of another fun, kind of cute one. It's not meant to be, I don't care. It's just cute. It's called. This is WCLS breaking news. Signs of the Sasquatch in Whatcom County. So this is Sasquatch in Whatcom County, guys. This is for fun. Relax.
On Lummi Island, it's been 1 year since Sasquatch has been spotted in our community, but the signs keep popping up. Right here, a fresh sign of Sasquatch in our community. More to come.
Libraries using Sasquatch for their symbol. I think that's fucking awesome.
We are finding signs of Sasquatch everywhere. Look, right here in Ferndale. More signs. Oh my gosh! Right here. We must be getting close. More! Unbelievable. Breaking news. When did
That's
these
how I
first
look
start
out in
appearing?
the woods.
How do you feel about Sasquatch appearing in your community? Do you have a library card? Ma'am? Ma'am?
And that was it, guys. That was for fun. But the idea is these towns and cities, they do take it seriously, and they're putting it on their logos. They're putting it on their library logos. And what that means is great for everybody else, because when people, we said this before, when kids and people see pictures of the Bigfoot, it makes them more at ease. It makes it easier to listen. Listen, I told you guys, when we grew up, my family talked about Bigfoot like it was just part of the regular forest. It was part of the animal's nature. There was never talk of being fake or real or not. And we grew up just thinking Bigfoot's part of the neighborhood, part of the area. It's just part of the forest. Putting stuff like that on signs, it's kind of the same thing. It's getting people used to the idea that, because if you really disbelieve in Bigfoots, would you put something as a symbol for a library that you have no belief system in it? I think they do believe in it.
Yeah, the Bigfoot is a symbol. It's a beacon. It's a collective that we can all think of something more. You know, it's a magic inside of us because it's a big brother, Bigfoot. And I love it. I love seeing commercials like that. Bring the fun to it. A Sasquatch sign right over there. Like, it's a fun play on words. So I love it. And it is good for the community too. And we have to have some laughs. And not everything can be so Sasquatch detective serious.
No, that's exactly why I like to mix it up sometimes, because, you know, there's two ways you got to look at it. Trying to find the actual Bigfoot and people representing the Bigfoot in the community with signs, pictures. Now, all that does, people, it just helps. You might not think it helps, but trust me, it helps a lot. So beyond that, guy, let's go into the paranormal. Now, this news clip is for people actually who live in West Virginia. This is the Paranormal West Virginia, the Blennerhassett Hotel. So according to this, we visit the oldest hotel in West Virginia where several ghosts has been spotted by guests. So if you live in West Virginia, apparently this is one of the oldest hotels and it's supposed to be haunted. So let's check out what the news channel figured out.
Last week's Paranormal West Virginia story highlighted some of the ghost stories at Blennerhassett Island. This week, we bring you tales from the Blennerhassett Hotel. Shayla Klein, live with more on this. She's in the newsroom. Take it away.
Nestled in downtown Parkersburg, the Blennerhassett Hotel is the oldest hotel in West Virginia. With all the memories many of the locals have of the building, it's no surprise that it has its fair share of ghost stories.
While the Blennerhassett Hotel was named after Harmon and Margaret Blennerhassett, the ghosts sighted in the building are generally from the 1900s, around the time that the hotel opened.
That's just so cool, you know, because it tells about the history of the town through ghost stories, because you've got the colonial era on the island with Margaret, then you've got the industrial era on the mainland with the hotel.
The ghost of a woman is known to haunt the elevators. Hospitality guest services specialist Adam Dodson says a postman told him he saw the ghost while he was making a delivery to the basement. The man said he saw a woman get on the elevator. He stopped the door before it closed to get on with the woman, but the woman was gone.
And he looked over at me, and the first thing he said, serious as could be, is this place haunted?
Another staff member saw the ghost of a red-haired woman in the window of a side door while walking to her car. The door used to lead to a cigar room, but is now just for looks.
I wasn't scared or she looked like evil or anything like that. It just made you stop and look like, is this what I'm seeing? And then it went away.
The most haunted suite in the hotel is room 409. It's the hotel's only two-story room, and guests are known to hear furniture moving at night. Dodson recalled a guest had a particularly scary encounter during a long stay.
And she said one morning I was laying in bed, and she said I tried to rise up out of the bed, and something actually held me down by the throat for just a moment or so. And she said was not wanting me to get out of bed.
Now, this is the only portion of the spooky stories. This is only a portion of the spooky stories at the Blennerhassett Hotel. To read more about the hauntings at the hotel, visit our website and click on the Paranormal West Virginia tab. Live in the newsroom, I'm Shayla Klein for 12 News.
Well, if any of you guys who live near West Virginia, you got a place to check out now. You know, I mean, I've never heard of this place being ghost haunting. You know, we heard Queen Mary before, which I never found anything. But I know if I was back in Maryland, I would have went over there. I didn't know it existed. So hopefully all you people in the chat who might live in that area, spend a night there. Let us know. Do a live show for us from there.
Hopefully Amber's Paraworld will go visit there, and maybe BF Blood can go down and visit her too. We have a lot of the Appalachian Trail family there, and man, a place like that would be worth driving a couple hours to check out, just because overnight would be truly magical.
Yeah, and I hope that a lot of them never even heard of this place, and they got to hear it here first. That's the idea of doing this, right? To talk about different areas that we might not know about. I mean, we always hear about Mackey's and Amityville Horror, you know, those kind of places. But there's a lot more places. And then one thing I did like, they didn't say this is the most haunted place. Because you guys know that every video we always play, this is the most haunted place. Really? Damn. You're the most haunted. What about this place? Here's another place. It's Haunted Daisy Flour Mill. So let me see. Does it say where it's from? Haunted Daisy doesn't really tell me what state it's from, but maybe in the video it says. Let's see. Let's find out.
8 at 11 in high definition continues.
At 6 o'clock tonight, we brought you a story about Rochester's Daisy Flour Mill.
Rochester, New York,
A lot
probably.
of people think it's haunted.
We put a group of paranormal investigators on the case, and even they couldn't believe what they found. Allie Tui reports.
Long after dark, when Mike Akins is alone inside the Daisy Flour Mill, strange becomes normal.
I was walking past a stairwell and I saw a black sheep going up the stairs. I don't think I was scared. I was maybe a little nervous.
Stories like Mike's are all too common among mill employees.
There's some mischievous things going on here.
But is paranormal activity to blame? Or perhaps just a prankster?
Sometimes it's here and sometimes it's not. Or
Rob Pistilli founded Monroe County Paranormal Investigations in 2002. The group has investigated hundreds of homes and businesses across upstate over the years. But never the mill until now. Using equipment like infrared lighting, digital voice recorders, and an electromagnetic pump, they concentrated in known hotspots like the kitchen and the bar. And almost on cue, a whistling noise is captured in the kitchen.
and when you heard the whistle, everybody could identify directly where it came from.
Likewise, when the group heard something fall coming from the direction of the bar, they'd been in the next room over when it happened.
We know exactly where everyone was, and we know no one whistled in the kitchen and no one was out by the bar.
Although not all of the evidence is as cut and dry. A digital recorder captured what sounds like a woman saying, "Take me back, my old friend." Listen closely.
That doesn't scare you?
No. What good would I be at what I do if I get scared?
Now, maybe you're
That's a good
someone
point.
who doesn't actually believe that the investigators were in the other room over there when they heard this candle drop, or that they heard that whistling noise here in the kitchen from that unidentified source. Yes, Rob says he meets plenty of skeptics in his line of work.
For us to prove those skeptics wrong, we have to make sure that all of our ducks are in a row.
So what about Mike? After all, he didn't believe the mill
Some
was actually
skeptics still
haunted
won't think.
before.
I think I do now, yes.
Indeed, you might say even I wouldn't be caught dead here after dark. In Rochester, Allie Toohey, News 8.
What do you think? Allie says all the encounters have happened at night, never reports of paranormal activity during the day or during an event.
Doesn't mean it's
That's
not happening.
reassuring.
And the
Also,
food's good at Daisy Flour Mill.
It sure is. Always good food. Take me back, my old.
You know, I did, like the guy said, you know, I wouldn't be able to do my job if I'm not scared. Now, I believe after a while, when you do it for so long, some of the scariness does go away, but you can't completely get rid of it. I mean, if something grabs you hard and scratch, I don't care where you're at, you're probably gonna jump. But I get what he's saying, that after a while, part of the problem I have with Ghost Adventure sometimes, that as many years they're doing it, they still run from little simple sounds. Where you would think the most simplest sounds be like, oh, okay, I heard this before. You know what I mean? But hey, Rochester, New York people, I know that I go to New York every other year because that's where my wife's family is. And Rochester is like 2 hours away from the town that they're from. I might go visit it in a couple years.
Heck yeah, get some IPAs and get a little buzz going, and then it will bring the paranormal activity. But I love that because so many paranormal hotspots have, you know, the reputation of having trauma and bad things happen and bloodshed. But sometimes it is just active spirits at good places that had joy and just tons of abundance of energy that has nowhere else to go. And I love, you know, going to haunted schools and haunted bars and even haunted comic book stores that sometimes it doesn't have a tragic past. It's just abundant in energy overload.
Yep. And one thing that I'm always going to take with me is Nicole from Through the Veil Paranormal. When we talked about our ghosts more at night during the day, she says it doesn't matter. But she says the thing is, people do not look for ghosts during the day. So they're not expecting ghosts. They're not scared because their lights on. So paranormal could be happening all around you. You're just not noticing it. Like when it's dark, it's quieter, then you are able to hear more things. Those things that might startle you, you heard that during the day, but because there's light and there's people around, you don't think nothing of it. And I think that's true. I like that part. That was like, okay, I get it. I see that. I can see that.
It definitely makes sense. But sometimes the situation will just spook you. You could have 25 years worth and it doesn't even have to grab you and rip you. Just sometimes the vibes in the air send that sixth sense. You know, your third eye starts, you know, twinkling. I was hiking recently, you know, in a path that I know very well and never felt that way during the night. And I felt like something was after me. So yeah, sometimes the experience adds to it, but sometimes just in that moment, you have no other choice but to just react with your instincts. And sometimes it is a little bit of fear. But again, you can't let that like succumb.
Terry Brown, I would never go back to Bobby's Mackey's ever again. Listen, I'm trying to get in contact with Discovery Plus to send me and Connor there. I said, you want some real honest investigation there? We'll give you the most honest investigation. We'll tell you if you feel something. We're not going to make something up just to make it up for TV. So we want to go there, but we'll test the demons, the devils, the ghosts, or whatever. We'll fucking take it on. We're not afraid of no ghosts, like the famous Bill Murray line. That's entertainment only when they overreact. That's exactly what that is. Hey, what am I saying? They got a show for 15 years or whatever. So, you know, look, I'll pretend that my ankle's hurt or something. They broke something, a bone. I don't know. Nah, I would never do that. Beyond that, guys, we're going to go over to the UFO because I want to know what the hell the NASA leader supposedly spoke about UFOs. I don't think I ever heard. Seriously, I think I never saw a video of who they considered the NASA leader speaking about UFO. So this was kind of a new one for me. Not for you, maybe, but for me it was. Okay, so like I said, this is called Leader of NASA Speaks Out on UFO Sightings. Now, first of all, if you believe every single thing that NASA tells you, then I'm sorry for you. I don't know how they're going to say, but what the hell are they saying about UFOs? Let's find out.
New information from the leader of NASA on some recent UFO sightings.
It's my favorite topic, Erica.
Yeah.
Rolling it out on a Monday. Now, this is really something because, for the first time ever, I think, the sitting head of NASA gave a very serious answer when asked about UFOs. He was asked specifically about these videos we're looking at, shot by Navy pilots a number of years ago, showing craft off the coast of the United States that moved in ways that defy the laws of physics as we know them. Here's Bill Nelson, the current NASA administrator, asked about these videos. Take a look.
To those pilots, and they know they saw something, and their radars locked onto it, and then all of a sudden it was here.
I'm sorry. Sometimes when I see the guy's face, I have to laugh because his face looks like a computer image. What was that famous 80s, 90s Max Headroom or something? I mean, you guys know, somebody old, you older people know the chat, the Max Headroom, the face that does this. I mean, his face looks so fake. Just look at his face.
On the surface, and then it's there. And they don't know what it is, and we don't know what it is. We hope it's not an adversary here on Earth that has that kind of technology. But it's something.
The interviewer went on, Erica, to ask him what he thought it was, and he went on to talk about how we now know the universe is so big. He said there may be other universes, and he says, to say that Earth is the only location where life forms can exist, he says that's probably not the case. So really opening up the door here, the NASA administrator, to a whole possibility, a whole otherworldly possibility.
Yeah, absolutely. That's big. That's huge.
I mean, Max Headroom, that was the exact name I was looking for. I mean, first of all, that's the leader, and then Spooky wrote Botox. Didn't that face look like, I don't know. I mean, seriously, guys, do you really believe the head of NASA on anything? I mean, I don't know.
I just know from English class, you should never end a sentence or something. And the head of NASA just ended a press conference or something. It's sad that a stoner hillbilly kid that works at a comic book store is probably a better public speaker than the leader of NASA. And he says, universe. It's one verse. That's what it says. Oh, there's more universes. Call it a multiverse or call it just a verse. There's not more one verses out there. It's silly rhetoric, but I love that you dug it up because it is very important hearing what the space agencies are saying, what's happening in our airspace. But we both know that those Navy clips have been out and already been, certified and accepted. We didn't need them to come out with their official statement. We knew. We saw it with our own eyes.
I believe this dog over the NASA leader.
Yes.
What do you think? UFO? Now
anybody that believes in heaven and takes pride in heaven, distance yourself from NASA because you ask NASA where heaven is, and they're going to look at you, bro. They're going to say, what is that? So if you just have faith in heaven, Buzz Aldrin, all those bums, they can all go to the side. But I do think it's interesting.
Sorry, the dog jumped on my hand. It had me accidentally hit play on another tab.
She's like, she wants to see that video right now. What clip is it? Is it already?
Next one is this next one. I have a tab where I have the full sentence of the video because when you put the video on StreamYard, it doesn't tell you the title of it. So I want to get it right. This one's kind of interesting. IT renewed interest by Congress in possible link between UFO incidents, nuclear weapons. Nuclear weapons, UFO sightings. Let's find out.
Considering legislation to create a new and permanent office to investigate UFO incidents and related phenomena.
One of the primary reasons for the renewed interest is the possible link between UFO sightings and nuclear weapons, including a few in our own backyard.
As the I-Team's George Knapp reports, some of these close encounters go far beyond mere lights in the sky.
The connection between UFOs and nuclear weapons has been documented as far back as the very first atomic blast, the Trinity explosion in 1945, New Mexico. Since then, hundreds of former military personnel have come forward with reports of unknown craft buzzing nuclear tests, atomic labs, and missile bases. A group of former officers told about their encounters at a Washington news conference in October of this year. Investigator Robert Hastings has obtained hundreds of pages of once classified Pentagon files about these incidents and has personally interviewed more than 150 retired military officers about ominous encounters involving nuclear weapons.
UFOs have routinely monitored our nuclear weapons going back decades.
The national security implications are a major reason former Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid co-sponsored a once-secret UFO investigation overseen by the DIA, but the UFO nukes connection is much stranger than mere unknown craft in the sky. On the outskirts of Las Vegas, an obscure part of the Nellis Air Force Base range, designated Area 2, has for decades been a reputed repository for nuclear warheads. As many as 200 nukes are said to be stored in Area 2's bunkers. 3 layers of heavily armed Air Force security teams patrol the area 24/7, watching for any attempted intrusions.
So on 2 occasions, we had an alert that was called where there was unidentified flying object over Area 2.
This former security officer says intrusions didn't only happen in the sky. There were multiple incidents of bizarre shadow people seen in and around Area 2, including one dramatic incident from 1991 when security teams were on high alert.
This person was never found, but the airman that had seen this person described them as being really tall, like 7 foot, and like I said, moving very fast. It was very strange.
So when I got there, I was straight security.
Another Area 2 security officer, Chris Cabrera, heard the stories of shadow people, but didn't know if they were real until he had his own encounter.
And when I turned around, there was this black mass form. I don't know what you would call it. It looked like I don't even know how to describe it. Like it looked like a person, but it didn't have definitive shape of a head.
Like vague, like a mist or something?
No mist. It was black. It was like a dark blob, but it had like a rounded top, like a head almost, and almost like a shoulder.
As with the UFO incidents, the sightings of dark, unknown intruders were taken seriously at the time. Officers were on alert as they searched Area 2, but never found a trace of the running figures. Their commanders told them that, quote, it never happened. Investigator Robert Hastings says similar bizarre incidents have been reported at multiple nuclear bases, and none of the mystery encounters, either in the sky or on the ground, have ever been solved. George Knapp, 8 News Now.
Now, I've heard different theories. I actually heard this one before. Always will be at the end nuclear to stop pushing the button. I've heard that. I heard a lot of UFOs go around nuclear places because they get to absorb some of that nuclear as energy. And one person told me that if you believe they're from outer space, they're from other places, that when they did drop the atomic bomb, they do testing, that they saw it from the sky, they saw it from space, they saw the light, like saying to come here, visit us, and maybe they're exploring how evil we are. I mean, it's hard to say, but I think it's for the energy, it's for their ships, because even alien ships gotta have some kind of a power source.
Yep. I love that. I love that connection. And it even goes back even further, I believe, and it all connects, though. The nuclear power plants are put on specific parts of the earth to harness and harvest the energy, too. So they might be going back to the true core, but they are definitely going through nuclear testing areas. But what I loved on that was the shadow figure story.
Shadow
and
people.
Adds so much more to our movement and everything being connected, guys. Ufology, shadow beings, and I can connect that to the forest deities and the elementals and the little people and the paranormal spirits and the energy that makes us. So I loved hearing that, and man, that's really cool just to hear the cross genres come over. But it was moving fast. It was about 7 to 10 feet tall. Was it a gray alien? Was it something cloaked? Was it a shadow being kind of just being magnetized to all the energy? I don't know. Are they all related? It's just very interesting, and that's why it's important not to shape stories how we want. We just have to accept the data how it is and then draw the correlations from when we can. And man, I know some agencies would have, only took the UFO lights, not what happened on the ground to people. And it's all about, bringing all the data to the table and then eating that buffet.
Exactly. Now, guys, are we ready in the chat to take a quiz? We're all going to take a quiz. I thought it would be fun today, the Mandela Effect stuff. We're going to take a quiz on the Mandela Effect. So get your pen, get your paper ready, because after the intro, we're going to get ready to take a quiz.
Pop quiz.
Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father. He told me enough. He told me you killed him. Luke, I am your father.
All right, people, it's quiz time. We're going to have fun. We're going to take a quiz here. I got an actual website up here. This is if you get less than 10 to 15 on this Mandela Effect quiz, you're probably in an alternate reality. So some of these are basics. Some of these have already been known, but maybe not to you. So guys, take a paper, whatever, do your own points. Here, and I'll also do this. I'll put the link in the chat in case some of you want to do this at the same time as the show, so it can kind of get the same results if you want. But together we're gonna have fun. We're all like trying to vote on this in a way. So here's the first one. Okay, here we go. First one. What colors are Uncle Sam's hat? Is it red and white, or is it blue and white?
Wow.
So Connor, if you had to guess, what color do you think it is?
I would have to guess red to complement his blue fit. But as we know with Mandela's, it really shakes you up real quick. But I would have to go red and white. Final answer.
Okay. I click red, and apparently it's wrong. It's blue and white. According to this quiz, it's blue and white. So I guess you scored 1 for the Mandela Effect, and you scored 0 on, I don't know, what's happening now. So
the normal life.
So here we go. There's the picture. I want you for the U.S. Army. Okay. Here's the second one. What is the name of this candy bar? There's a Kit Kat without the little dash symbol, and there's one with the symbol. So Connor, again, is it with that symbol or is it without the symbol?
See, this one's one of those split memories, but first and foremost, I remember the dash.
The dash. And we'll see here. Okay, well, one person on the other one said blue and white. Danny was saying it was red and white and blue. Okay. So see, you got a split difference right there too. Red, like for you, Connor, and blue for the other side. So and all that. So okay.
And I'm with Danny too. I feel like it was red, white, and blue. That's why I said red and white, because the blue would have already been with it. But yeah, that's a really confusing one. Very strange.
So Danny says with. North Alabama says without. And Gray Wolf Paranormal says no dash. Well, let's pick the one. If you ask me, I remember. I know now it doesn't have it, but when I was a kid, when it was actually only costed $0.25 to buy a candy bar, I thought it had the dash. That was kind of weird when I found out it didn't have the dash. So here we go. Wrong. There is no dash. So okay, let's go on to the next one. Here we go. Fruit of Loom. Okay, there we go. There's two pictures of Fruit of Loom. What picture do you remember? The one on the left or the one on the right? For me, I remember the one on the left.
Yeah, I don't remember that basket thing on my underwear, so I just remember just the fruit, the one on the right.
Okay. Well, let's find out. Let's go with Connor's answer, and you guys in the chat, just put it in there. What do you think, with or without? So Connor remembers without. So let's see. It is without. It's kind of weird for me because Fruit of Looms is the T-shirt that's always been there. It's a brand that's always been there, and I don't know why I remember with the other picture. To me, I don't know why that picture it feels naked. It feels naked. I don't know why. Like Gray Wolf, think you remembers with the basket. And no, doesn't it feel? See, once you know, I know people who remembers this probably now see the other picture and like it does feel naked without it. It doesn't feel like it's a real. I don't know how to explain it, but
it was a weird phenomenon because when I saw the basket, I was like, I kind of remember that. But then when I really went into my memory and like kind of visualized like my underwear, my boxers, or my white T-shirts, or even the plastic that ripped out and stuffed under my bed, that's what I remembered. But that's the beautiful thing with this. We're all human beings saying different answers. Like we're all under the same sky, but getting different experiences out of it. It's special.
Now here's Target. What does Target logo look like? Is it the one on the left or is it the one on the right?
The one on the right for me. But wow, these really trigger your. Yep.
The more solid.
Yep, the more solid.
The more solid color. And God, I don't know. I don't remember what it is now. I mean, I seriously, I don't remember what it is now, but I'm going with Connor. So on the right, it kind of reminds me of that RCA dog picture. I don't know why the RCA dog. You guys, okay? So North Alabama says left. Spooky says right. Nona says left. Nona says left. Left. Solid. Solid's a good solid. We know what you mean by solid. Bullseye. Right. Okay. So this is fun, guys. See? Yeah, that is what it is now. So whoever thought the one on the left, that's the Mandela effect. Okay.
That's what's cool. If you're wrong, you're like more trippy and magic, and you don't know what's right or what's wrong. It's just a weird balance that you kind of like figure out who you are. That's what these quizzes are cool, man. This isn't like, oh, guess what kind of dog you are. Well, maybe those are cool too, but this is magical. I love this.
This is for fun. Like I said, today's fun. Let me go on to the next one. Ooh, in the Saw movie. What does Jigsaw say? Let me see here. There's 3 answers. Would you like to play a game? I want to play a game. Do you want to play a game? Holy shit.
Do you want to play a game? That's mine.
God, that's a good one. I'm trying to remember because I'm trying to remember what the Whopper, or not the Whopper, but in the movie War Games, when he's talking to that about the machine, want to play a game. Do you want to play a game? You know, or God, that's a good one. Oh, Spooky says, do you? Okay. Danny wrote, would you? God, I'm gonna go. Connor says do. I'm gonna think it's would. I watch the Saw movie, the first one, maybe twice. It's not a movie that I watch over and over again. There's only so much of that kind I could watch over again because I watched that movie for the gore, and once you kind of see the gore, I don't really need to see it again. So we're gonna put Connor's answer in here. So it's a Mandela effect. Do you want to play a game? So it's I want to play a game.
That has some Star Wars, Luke, I am your father vibes to it right there because, whoo, I feel it like in my memory and like my vocal cords saying, do you want to play a game? But I can feel it. I feel it. I want to play a game. Like Jigsaw's not asking you. There is no choice. You're already in the game. So he's telling you,
and
I want to play a game.
One that got it right in a way because everybody else is splitting the other two, which are technically wrong. So the other two are Mandela effects compared to the one. That is cool. That's a good one. That's a good one. There you go. And guys, I didn't play this quiz before I came on here. What does Tony the Tiger nose looks like? Oh shit. Is it black or is it blue? Holy shit. Oh man.
I feel like I would remember the blue one, man. I have to go with black.
I think it's black too. I don't remember blue. I mean, we don't even know what the right answer is technically to the Mandela effect. Guys, is it blue nose or is it the black nose? I want to see some of you guys in the chat. Okay, Danny says black. North says black. OC Mom, they're killing us. Laugh out loud. Okay. Hopefully nobody's killing anybody. We don't want Spooky to be killed. We need Spooky. Black. Please be black. Ooh, Danielle saying blue.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, let's see. Let's go with black. It's blue. Holy
Daniela
shit.
knows.
Wrong. The tiger is blue. Wow. You would think you would know that it's blue, that it matches the box.
Yeah, that would have been something we always joked about. Like, oh, Tony the Tiger, the blue nose, like that's never been talked about. I've never heard it in a rap song. Lil Wayne never brought it into a 16 bars. So I don't know about that one. That's some crazy stuff.
That's a good one. Wow, that's a good one. There we go. Hopefully there's more. Oh, okay. Okay. What Henry holding in the famous portrait? Let's see what choices it gives. A glove or a turkey leg? I'll tell you straight out. I always remember a turkey leg. That's me. I remember a turkey leg. But for this quiz, it's either a glove or turkey leg. I want to know, guys, in the chat. Actually, Connor, what do you think? Turkey leg or glove?
I honestly don't know too much off of like memory or anything, but when you mentioned turkey leg, it kind of like jolted something in my head. So maybe I remembered like an old meme or a joke or it being referenced. But this one, honestly, I don't have much connection either or. I don't know.
I love honesty. You can't beat the honesty. Leg, turkey leg. So far, mostly legs because that guy is known for eating. He is known for eating. So anybody else? Oh, we got a glove here. We got a glove. Okay. Well, guys, let's find out. Let me see. Make sure there's nobody else. Okay, nobody else is putting anything in the chat. Here we go. I'm putting turkey leg. Wrong. He's holding a glove. God, it just doesn't look right. I'm telling you. It was a freaking big-ass leg. It was a leg.
It might have been a meme or something that you saw the reproduction, but what would be the point of him holding the glove? Why isn't he wearing the glove?
But see, you're right. Okay, now memes have been popular in the last 10, 15 years. When I was a kid, they weren't really memes. There was no way to look at memes. And I remember the leg from as a kid. That's what's weird. Unless somehow my memory shifted and I saw a meme one day and I just, ever since, I mean, I guess it could happen. I mean, Anything's a possibility in this world. Okay, here we go. This is a famous one. I mean, I think everybody's have heard this one. Does rich Uncle Pennybags wear a monocle? Yes or no? This is a very popular one. I mean, listen. We all know. Actually, I don't know what people know of this. I remember monocle.
I do too. But this sealed one from, I don't think this is too old. I think it's from the 90s. But this one does not have a monocle.
I love this.
The most
Spooky.
recent is 1985 on here. But yeah, no monocle. But I clearly remember it in my memory.
Spooky still is on the Tony the Tiger. What's the point of the damn blue nose on Tony the Tiger? I know. The lake picture was heavily produced. Okay. Yes, the monocle. Exactly, Spooky. I will say no monocle probably. Now, I said I remember the monocle, and Bob and I did a show on this. What is the meaning of it? Because this one has a high percentage of everybody remembering the monocle. And that's where we learned that the game was actually invented by a woman who's trying to teach poor kids on how to buy land. And then a guy stole her monopoly. Actually, her name, it was called different. I forgot the exact name. There's a show on here. And the guy stole it to Parker Brothers for more money, for millions, and she got $500 for hers. But then Parker Brothers realized that she could sue them and she will win because the game patent was stolen from her. So I always thought the message of the monocle was to teach you that women were getting robbed way back in the 1900s, not just now. And this great woman, I forgot her name. I have a show on this. It's on this channel somewhere, that she was teaching regular people on how to buy land, how to expand. And the rich people did not like that because they want to control everything. I always thought that was the message on why we were seeing the monocle. You guys might not believe that, but that's just me. Okay.
Remember when you brought up, though, the Peanut Man? Remember, he had a monocle that people might have been misremembering the Monopoly guy as the Peanut guy. So I thought that was really interesting how you brought that too.
Also, the Batman TV series, the Penguin had that hat, different color, and had a monocle, almost looked identical to the monocle. And that was in the 60s and 70s. And remember, those shows were big for a lot of people. That could have also crisscrossed over to the game. I'm not saying it did, because I remember monocle. However I remember it, that's what I remember. But I also got to put in every idea on why I remember that. So it is what it is. I remember no monocle, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I remember the eyepiece. That this is crazy. It is a crazy world. And yeah, Dr. Wu. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Let's see if there's any more on here. Oh, Oscar Mayer. How do you spell the name of this meat production company? Okay, so there's two different ways they spelled this. Oscar Mayer, M-E-Y-E-R, M-A-Y-E-R. I mean, if I'm gonna choose one, I'm probably gonna choose Oscar Mayer. I'm probably gonna choose the one on the left because M-A-Y-E-R, to me, we sound like I should be calling it Mayer.
Yeah, I'm with you. Oscar Mayer, M-E-Y-E-R. But once you first read it, I was like, oh, I could see how people say M-A-Y, but I remember the E for my childhood.
Oh, no. So here's a Mayer. Here's the A, and E. So it's split down the line, A and E. We were too poor to have Oscar Mayer's as a kid. I think we got the cheapest shit bologna or hot dogs there were. So let's see here. Let's okay. Wrong. It's actually M-A-Y-E-R. Holy shit. Oscar Mayer. Really? An A is pronounced my okay.
Weird. That's one of those situations that is like it's pronounced one way, and I guess it's spelled a total different way, and maybe our minds like remembered the way it sounded, maybe. But very interesting.
Thank you, Nona Boss. I remember too, Monopoly as a kid. That Monaco, it's weird. It's weird. I still think it's a message that's saying that it was just telling us that women were getting robbed their whole throughout the centuries.
It's
Men were
telling you to
still
look closer.
making money. That is crazy. That is crazy. Let's see if there's any more on here. Okay, we got a peekaboo one. What does peekaboo tails look like? So basically, is it with the black or is it with the yellow? Now, I'm not the biggest fan of this, but if you're going to ask me today, I would say it's the one with the black tail.
Yep. I think the yellow tail, but there has been all these new variations of Pikachu and all these plushie and pin-up and all these other ones that it kind of took the black tail. But I remember the straight yellow tail, but these new versions kind of rewriting it to become the black tail. But the original, I believe, is the yellow tail.
Well, says yellow. Casual conversation. GA says black. Spooky says black. Gray Wolf says yellow. Black. So we got both. So for Connor, I'm gonna put the yellow for Connor. He's correct. So right now it is without the black. Okay. I think he looks naked without the black. I don't know why. I feel like he looks naked without it. But like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of the show. You know, it's past my time. So okay, I accept that. I mean, you know. Oh, shoes. How do you spell the name of the company that makes this shoe? Skechers. There's one without the T and there's one with the T. Skechers.
I have to go with the T.
Well, I haven't owned a lot of Skechers in my life, honestly. I don't think I've ever owned any Skechers. So it's not a brand that I've always looked at. So I have to make a complete guess on this, people, because I've never owned Skechers. So I'm going to say it's the one with the T. That's what I'm going to say. Spooky says T. Skechers with the T. Diane T. C. Okay, T. A lot of people with the T never had those shoes. I never did either. So I'm guessing here. This is a total guess by me. Skechers looks sketchy. And without the T. Okay. Well, let's find out. Skechers without the T now. Okay. You know, I'm not really a big, you know, it'd be like, for me, it'd be Nikes. You know, I've worn Nikes and shoes like that and Brooks. But never Skechers. Oh, we got a Kellogg here. Kellogg's. What is this one? Kellogg's. How do you spell this Kellogg cereal name? Ooh, there's 3 different ways. There's Fruit Loops, F-R-U-I-T-L. Okay, Fruit, F-R-U-I-T, F-R-O-O-T, F-R-E-W-T. Now, first of all, F-R-E-W-T sounds way ridiculous. If it is that, I don't know what I'm going to do to myself. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do to myself. But I'm going to say I remember F-R-O-O-T.
Yeah, I remember the first one. But I've seen this one, and it truly tricks you because I feel like there are fake Fruit Loops that get made over in China. They find their way over in our Amish stores and stuff. But this one's always mind-blowing.
It is. You know, I'm more of a Raisin Bran cereal kind of person. I like Raisin Bran. I don't usually buy Fruit Loops. I usually buy Frosted Flakes, Wheaties. You know, sometimes I used to buy Fruity Pebbles, the chocolate ones. So let me see here. Yellow. I love the Pikachu. Fruit. Spooky. My guts tell me fruit. Spooky saying, please be fruit. Am I? Oh, remember. Well, Spooky. Let's find out right now. Let's find out. I'm going to put F-R-O-O-T. Correct. It's F-R-O-T. Woo! I was right. Wow.
That's crazy. It makes sense, though. The double O on fruit and the double O on loops show the massive amount of colors. That's one that I remember the UI, but wow, it reminds me my childhood with that for sure.
I'm just thank God it wasn't the third one on the bottom, because that one would be F-R-E-W. If it showed up that, I'd be like, fuck this. No, there's no way. All right, here's one of the most popular ones ever. Bearstein bears or Bearstein bears. Now, like, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I've never had Bearstein books as a kid. I really did. I didn't even know they really existed until people in the Mandela Effect world talked about it. I don't know why I've never heard of the books. I don't know how much money they were cost. Maybe we were too poor to have books. I grew up with the house of all guys. One father, 3 boys. Technically, one of the boys became a girl, but that's another story. But it was all boys. I was the youngest. Never had children books in my house. Ever. But, I mean, what sounds proper to me? Bearstein. The E sounds proper to me. The EI. That's what sounds proper to me. But my vote does not count for this because I never owned the books. Connor, I don't know if you ever owned the books or not.
Yes, this one is close to me because my grandparents' farm, in their little middle bathroom where all of us grandchildren would use, we had a little magazine like rack/basket thing, and there was one about Princess Diana's death. And now I look back, I'm like, oh, that means something. That was fishy. She was clearly murdered. And then there was Berenstein, and I always called it Bernstein bears. So mine's definitely EIN, but I thought it was BERN back in the day, not Berenstein. I called it Bernstein bears, but it's definitely EIN. But we have it right here in the store, Game Boy Advance game, and they say it's AIN. But that one is one that I will always remember, and I feel like it was a sign. I feel like it was left there for me. So when I was sitting on the toilet, I would be prepared for this. But if we pick EIN, it is going to tell us we are wrong. I already know that.
Bookie is praying on this one because he put STEIN. There we go. Let's do EIN. It's wrong. It's AIN.
Yup, that was the one that it totally threw me for a loop. You know, I might misremember some things, but I remember EIN. I still could picture. I could put that issue or that one edition, and then same thing with the Princess Diana. Man, it's all connected.
All right, let's move on to these last 3 because I actually got some things I have to do so I can make my 2 o'clock show that I'm going to be on today. This is what is the name of the Warner Brothers animated series, Looney Tunes? Is it Looney Tunes with the 2 O's, or is it Looney Tunes 2UNES? I'll tell you straight out, I've watched Looney Tunes. I watched these cartoons. These were my cartoons. I remember TOONS. I remember that's how it was spelled.
I remember the TUNES, so I love it.
So let's see what everybody else thinks here. Let's see here. I want to talk. What is it? I want to talk to the manager. Bullshit. OONS. Spooky remembers UNES. OONS for cartoons. That's a good point. All right, here we go. Daniel says UNES, and Cameron says OONS. So OONS with the yellow tail. Well, I'm gonna pick OONS. It's wrong. It's UNES. Okay.
And right there, I have a clarification from my buddy John, who's done a lot of singing and vocal, so he has good experience with it. He said that Looney Tunes was based around music. So tunes, TUNES, S. I love that. Sometimes you can get to the core of it, but again, maybe they're throwing us for a loop. Double O in that, but if you spell loop L-U-P-E, you get Lupe Fiasco, man, the best rapper ever. So sometimes a loop, a fruit, a root, it all comes together.
Well, here's a famous one. Sex City. What's the name of the popular HBO series? Now, some people remember Sex and the City. Sex and the City. This was a show that my wife watched all the time, and I always thought it was called Sex in the City. But actually, I'm not gonna tell you what it's called now, but I remember it as Sex in the City. What about you, Connor?
I remember Sex and the City as well, and I always thought it was cool as a young kid. I was like, "Oh, sex is in it." We're searching the series wall right now so we could find it, but I'm just running into Full House, True Blood, The Closer. But Sex and the City is what
I'm
I
glad
remember.
one person is agreeing with me. In the City, I-N. Thank you for one person. Everybody else is saying and. And who in the black would never watch that? Not me. And thank you, Spooky. In the City. In the City. Because I think it's in the city too. Never seen it. No problem. My wife loved it. That's how come I had to see it. I never saw every episode, but I know it existed. Terrible program. Never missing much. Well, there's they made a sequel series to this, and it's on HBO now. It's called something else with 3 of the 4 characters in it. Okay, I'm gonna put and the City because most people put and the City, but I think it's in the city. Let's find out. So it is called and the City. Mm-hmm. Sex and the City. Just never sounds right. I don't know. To me, it sounds Sex in the City sounds better. It's about New York. There's sex there. Let's go get the sex. Let's have fun with it. Let's put our heads in it. And the City just sounds like, oh, you get to have sex and have the city with you. I don't know. It just doesn't sit right with me. But oh well. We got one more left. No, we don't. That is the last one. That's the last one, guys. That's the last one. Wow. So, guys, I hope you guys had fun today with that little quiz. I thought it'd just be fun having a quiz and all that. And now, today, later on, I will be jumping on another channel. That's why I got to leave now to make sure I'll make it in time. I'm going to be on another channel today. I'm going to put the link in it right here, and that's at 2:00. So I'm going to put the link here. It's in the chat now. So guys, click on it. Put the reminder bars. Show up. If you've never been to that channel, let them know you're there because of me. Let them know. You know, it's kind of like let's spread our names out there. So guys, beyond that, I do got to get going. But hopefully, Spooky was actually on this show last week. So click on it now. Go find out the one with Spooky was on. Check it out. And if you like how they did with Spooky, you're probably gonna like what they did with me. Only thing I've heard is I keep hearing the word coconut oil. Coconut oil. Coconut oil. I'm intrigued. I am really intrigued. But beyond that, guys, today was fun. It's fantastic, and I'll see everybody later.